You better get those feet tapping, fingers snapping, all hands clapping. Buckle up, gobble some podcorn. It's the Mickle Pod and Pickle with Mickle. And here we go. Can we have a more manic Monday after an incredible weekend? Started with a bang, saw the fireworks continue throughout. I just have to get to it. My Copa has runneth over. And just when I was ready for a nice little Sunday to get this show all nice and purty for you, it happened. Folks, we cannot escape it anymore. You just got to go with it. Embrace the suck, as they say. A weekend in the sportsverse that we needed right now. We need helping get our knees high out of this sludge of the sports year. You got to look around. Wimbledon, pickleball, Copa America, Olympic hype, just to name a bit. And there's going to be more for sure, if I can just hang on. Hang on because of the bizarro. We have seen the bizarro now become commonplace in the sportsverse and perhaps even leaking into our everyday lives. However, that's not the focus here. Like I said, nice little Sunday. So I did it. I went from Sunday thumping Godsmack. I mean, it was only 95, windows down, brah. You know, I decided to run through the dailies and tractor beam right into the bizarro. Do I need to know about this Reuben White party in the Hamptons? This is what we're talking about right now. Did you hear what I was talking about? You got Copa America, you got Wimbledon, you got pickleball. We're going to DC. Yeah! But this is what we're talking about. I hear these guys talking about these custom invitations for this party in the Hamptons. I mean, I didn't even know Pee Wee Herman started Fanatics. I guess, though, if Tom Brady's on the guest list, it makes news. More bizarro. LeBron takes less than a max deal. Did not see that coming from the king. Bronny all over the airwaves with those 4 points. Come on, man. Oh, honey, I'm hot today. The weather is hot. Stay hydrated. Action on the pitch? Bizarro. Saturday night. You know, I mean, we had one game. Started the Copa. It tipped the Copa. It had the announcers looking like someone pooped in their cups, and it was the most anticipated match of the weekend in this Copa America. I'm still just trying to get like I said, I got to hang on, get my head around it. We got to take a break, and look what happened in Vegas. Hang on. We're going to Vegas.
Vegas! You think we get there by midnight?
Honey, we're gonna be up 500 by midnight.
Vegas!
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And if you're a fan of soccer, even a casual fan, you hope it does. Saturday night, Vegas played host to Copa America. Saturday afternoon, you could have been right here in Glendale for the Colombia takeover of Panama. I mean, 5-0. Maybe if you turn the wrong way out of the stadium, you get some 5-0. This is a 16-team tournament played all over the USA, and Team USA, shocker, did not make it out of the group stage into this knockout round. Saturday night featured Uruguay and Brazil, two powerhouse teams on the world stage. Winner was going to get Colombia, who, as I mentioned, has been rolling. And the other semi was already set, with Messi and Argentina clashing with Canada. Let's just stay right here in Vegas, Uruguay, Brazil. I was excited, right? I am a casual soccer fan. I love the World Cup. I love these national teams when they get to play. Outside of that, it's hard for me to keep up with all the other stuff that I got to keep up with. Mainly, like I said, when it's a World Cup year, and these are those teams. This, however, looked like it was already set. Like they were filming a made-for-Netflix special or Prime or Peacock. Again, pick a streamer. Were they playing soccer out there? I saw more forearms in this game than I used to see in a Detroit Piston Bad Boys playoff game. They hardly even called any cards until it started becoming a card party. I expect a soccer game to be slow. That's why for a Saturday night in the heart of the sludge of the sports year, this was perfect. It's the Copa America. It was on prime time. Uruguay, Brazil. You put this thing on, you do some stuff around the house. Maybe you got some people over. You tune in for set pieces, corner kicks. Maybe you see somebody going on a run. 41 fouls. This was not the beautiful game. I understand Uruguay's got to muck it up against Brazil. Most teams have to do. This was not muck. This was yuck. I also understand introducing the new kid to the party, right? You could put an asterisk or a footnote, and down below, I'd have a little something about Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. At any rate, the 17-year-old wonder kid, Andrick, he gets to wear the famed number 9 for Brazil at least 9 times. This kid was hip-checked into one Uruguay defender and then flattened by another. No call. I couldn't get the scene from Walking Tall out of my head when the Rock's fighting those little soldiers out there in the jungle, and the one hits him after he swings down from the tree and the Rock's in the air, and then the other one gets him. It looked like that at some times, right? Brazil was already without another young gun. Vinicius Jr., he'd been suspended for this game due to yellow cards in a prior game. Availability is always the best ability. We know this. So I'm not crying for Brazil. They could not get a goal when Uruguay went man down. They were 10 men for the last 15 minutes of this game. And then we got it. Any fan of any casual sport, right? You get a shootout in soccer, the penalty shootout. That's what you want to see. You're going to tune in for that. And we have it. It's one of the best things in sports, that penalty shootout. It's awesome. I was ready for it. You know who was also ready? The announcers calling the game, and they put the jinx on as soon as that first kicker for Brazil started coming out. It was on and delivered. First kick, save. And I agree with him, right? The guy was at Miliato. He did not look confident. He telegraphed the kick. Guy saved it, right? They're down 0-1. And then Luis sails one off the post, and that's 2 Utah. 2 missed penalty kicks. And a question I have, if you miss a penalty kick for Brazil in Copa America, do you still get to play for Brazil? If you're the coach of Brazil that missed 2 penalty kicks, you still get to coach Brazil. Like I said, the game, more like an 80s NBA game in the paint than the beautiful game of soccer. And the announcers at the end, we had Alexei Lalas, he's there. Who's the girl from the national team? She's great. They couldn't believe it, and I can't remember her name. They were dumbfounded, is the only way to put it. Uruguay is going to play on, and they've beaten Brazil twice. This time, and the last being in World Cup qualifying last fall. So a lot of people are saying, what's up with Brazil? I don't know. I know Copa America moves into the semifinals this week. So if you need some action, you can find it and get it. It's great to have it on. Like I said, have it on in the background. Uruguay is going to play Colombia in Charlotte Wednesday. Get over the hump with a little Copa America. That should be a good game. And Tuesday in Jersey, Messi. Argentina, Canada, Messi. 41 fouls, though. That's going to be tough for any of these remaining teams to beat, except Uruguay. I say they go for it. Now, could you beat that 51 hot dog world record set by Mickey Sudo?
Can only be one champion. In her, nature has fashioned a warrior red in tooth and claw, and her soul shines like magnesium set afire against the dark mountain of night. With 51 Nathan's Famous hot dogs and buns, a new world record. Mickey Sudo!
I got the music going. If that doesn't get you fired up on a Monday, I don't know what will. I said it before. Who is that guy? Why isn't he on the WWE or something? Is that the progression? You work your way through the food circuit, though. He looks like he's been doing this for a little while. You got to work your way in the food circuit, move your way up, maybe into the ranks of maybe low-level boxing, MMA. Those have to be before you get to any wrestling, right? I don't know. And who knows who will wrestle their way out of Wimbledon this year with titles. They're playing today, men's and women, rounding out journey into the quarterfinals on the way to championship weekend. The fireworks from the 4th found their way all the way to the All England Club this weekend. I've got my thoughts after this. A proper man wears a proper beard. A Viking man goes to ValhallaBeardandBody.net. Use my promo code MIC15. Check out the best for your beard, stash, and body at ValhallaBeardandBody.net. The Mickle Pod and Pickle with Mickle is all new twice a week, all major podcast apps. Earbuds in, podcorn ready. It's back to the show. Wimbledon is the third tennis major of the year, though it is one of my favorite events of the entire sports year. I can remember as a kid sitting in front of the TV watching the epic Borg-McEnroe battles, Lendl, Edberg, Becker diving all around the court, right? The kid, Becker, Boom Boom Boris, giving way to Sampras. You got Federer and Nadal. I remember Chrissy, Martina, Graf, my favorite, Celis, Hingis, Serena, of course. And that's only a few on both sides of men's and women's. Plenty more I could name, plenty more greats that have gotten over there on the grass where it's just awesome to watch tennis. Now, if you think I forgot about Joker, I didn't. He's still playing. The point is, I can't rattle off names like that today as easily as the most recent run of dominance on the men's side fades and we get a little further past Serena. I'm waiting to be able to do it. I'm waiting for the next one. I'm waiting for the next couple, right? Let's start on the men's side where I think that gap of the top versus the next, there's a little closer gap up top, right? Tennis folks want Alcaraz to ascend and separate. I don't think I've got a big problem with that. He's a defending champ here at Wimbledon. He plays like he wants to get himself in trouble so he can dazzle you with his awesomeness. And like I said, I am okay with that. He will win the career slam. How many slams will he win? Can he begin to dominate? He's just the 3 seed in this tournament. Like Blake Shelton, he's young. And I like what McEnroe said at the end of that match, because I said Shelton over Sinner, book it, didn't happen. McEnroe said he'll be even more dangerous next year, referring to Blake Shelton. And remember that he's only 20. Alcaraz is only 21. So, when you have the 3, Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, that have dominated for 20 years, you lose sight of everyone else, even as these younger players are coming up. Because in the end, the big 3 ended up just playing each other for all these titles. We're just at the beginning of this new era. You got these guys like Sinner. Medvedev, though, who at 28, he's the old guy, and he's only got 1 major. We're seeing Tommy Paul have a nice run. He's 27, so it's a nice run. My bold predictions, though, are hanging with Tommy Paul, Taylor Fritz. If we're going to get an American into the semis, it's going to be one of them. Fritz draws Zverev today to get to the quarters. Paul's already in. He's got to take on Alcaraz. Then you've got Djokovic, the Joker, who at times is showing signs of the times. He's 37 after all. Yet, a win will tie him with Federer at 8 total Wimbledon titles, most ever. Now, this rune is going to give him fits. I don't think it's going to ruin his day. In the end, Djokovic gets through. I called an American in the semis. Remember, repetition is good. Let that stay there. All top 5 seeds, all 5 tops on the men's side are alive. That's what I'm saying. There's a little more close-knit group at the top. I think on men's tennis, Sinner, Medvedev, there's a quarterfinal match for you. Someone will have to play Novak on Sunday. Over on the women's side, it's just been crazy. It's been awesome. My hopes dashed for an Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff final. They're gone as both number 1 seed, Swiatek, and Gauff got bounced. I might say, trounced over the weekend. I'll say it, trounced, pounced on. Use any of those crushing defeat cliche sayings that are out there that you've heard before, because I think they're all apropos. Swiatek jumped out, and then the lights went out. Yulia Putintseva, did I say that right? Brought the heat. She did not let up. 6-1, 6-2 after dropping that first set. That's a trouncing. That's a pouncing. The women's side of tennis right now, I think it's wide open. And then with Swiatek, who was the number 1 seed, losing, it looked like the door was wide open for a Coco Gauff run to the title. She's the 2 seed. Now, that's not me saying that. That's a lot of people I heard leading up to her match were saying that. Door wide open, here comes Coco. Oh, ho, ho, Coco. It's not losing. This is tennis. You run into a hot opponent, you can lose. You don't have a receiver that's dropping the ball. You don't got a lineman jumping off sides. It's just you. It's how you are losing, which is starting to write a whole new chapter in your story. And I think it's a story, or at least a chapter, you want to end right now. I was geeked for that rematch with Swiatek, like I said. And mainly because I wanted to see how Coco would bounce back against that opponent. After France, after what we saw there in the French Open and that not so great semifinal exit. Enter Emma Navarro. And let's not look past the performance of Ms. Navarro that she put on against Gauff, or the run that she's on right now in this tournament, and she could win it. Back to Gauff, because we want Coco to take this mantle. Yes, she's young. She's only 20. She's been on this stage, and plenty of people have given her the next one, love the air quotes on radio, moniker. People have dubbed Coco the next one, at least the next hope for American tennis, to be that bright star that we've had before. I don't know that I have ever, in all my time watching tennis, and I watch a lot of tennis, I love the majors, right? I mean, at least 4 times a year I'm watching some tennis, all right? But I don't know that I've ever seen a coach so involved in a match as Brad Gilbert. It looked at one point like he was waving Coco around third. What the heck? My point is, you're the number 2 player in the world. There was all the chatter with Swiatek out that you were going to win, that the door was wide open. This was a walkover match against Navarro. After Navarro broke back in the first set, the door slammed shut. Coco's spirit broke in, and we know the result. Navarro is going to move on, and she's going to face Polini. Polini can win this whole thing. And like I said, I think Navarro could too. I think the women's side is open. You get one major, it's going to be awesome. Would either of those two continue to grab majors? Don't know. Now, Coco, she's going to need to take some time, whenever her next tournament is. We know she'll be at the U.S. Open, where again, she'll be a favorite. And we're all going to be anxious to see what she can do. What she cannot do, in my humble opinion, through the lens that I see this, is continue to act the way she has on the court. You're going to have bad days. Isn't this something you got to train for? Can you summon that extra something you've got that we all marvel at and overcome when you're having a bad day? When that opponent that you're supposed to overcome is on their game, they can be on it. Can you get back on yours, and is it enough? I didn't see adjustments. There was no adjustments to her game. She kept staring over at Gilbert. He's doing sign language, whatever the hell that was. I mean, she found out early she wasn't going to run over Navarro with her power. And then you could see the defeat in her face as shots sailed wild. Serves didn't find the mark. Her whole demeanor was that of one that had to keep playing but didn't want to anymore, tried to find it and couldn't. You could see it on her face. There are a lot of young, talented women in tennis. Coco is one of the current faces of the sport. She's elevated herself to that. She's been there before. She's on all the commercials. Like it or not, she is held to a higher standard. And that gets back to, how do we practice that? Are we practicing that? You hear it over and over again. How do the Patriots win? Everyone knew their job. They practiced the game day situations that matter. This is 2024. Fill up a bubble with sound and people booing her for crying out loud. So if she does get off her game or the shots are falling, maybe doesn't faze her. I'm a Coco fan. I'm not a fan of what I've seen from the French and now at Wimbledon. And I know another young, dominant athlete in her sport who does not lose often, and yet we saw a side of her when she did lose. Yeah, I'll parallel Annalie Whiplash Waters and Coco right now in this sense. Emotions are tough, especially when it's all on the line. How you lose, that really shows, at least for me, that shows me how you win. Along with Navarro, if there is to be an American women's champion in London, we have Danielle Collins playing very well. And she wouldn't have to face Rybakina until the semis. It's going to be a lot of fun leading up to the famed Champions Dance. 8 just might be enough for Novak. Make it 2 for Elena Rybakina. Enough tennis and soccer talk. I mean, it got me. What are your thoughts about the MLB All-Star Snubs? Mine too. Let's power up, talk some pickle, and that'll be all, folks. The Mickle Pod is brought to you by Vert. Now available in shocking sour apple. Get up and go with Vert. You're listening to the Mickle Pod. Why wouldn't you be? Now back to the show. If you've been paying attention, you realize most of the attention in the Pickleverse this week is focused on my interview with Craig Bobo. As true as that might be, there are some other things happening, and I might say they are grand. Belknap Park in Grand Rapids, Michigan, annually plays host to the Beer City Open, and this year, Major League Pickleball, that's right folks, MLP, is joining the party. Also, it now appears on the website that the total purse for this mid-season MLP tournament will be $200,000. That is going to be split between the Premier and Challenger Divisions leagues, however you want to call that. $140K going to go to the Premier League. That leaves $60K for the Challenger top 3. Hey, at least now we're seeing some of these dollars we've been hearing about. I like it. Still leads me to believe that the salaries are on the back of the player trading cards. I just need to go get some. Is the stinking video game out yet? I mean, come on. Owl in Newport, APP Tour, had the Owl Newport Beach Open. This is huge. It's a USAP golden ticket event. Talent on APP is just, I can't help go Gronk anytime I do something like that, for crying out loud. At any rate, talent on the APP is amazing. Golden tickets are won for Nationals. Nationals going to be out here at Legacy Park in November. And I'm going to give a shout out to Jack Monroe, the two-handed wonder kid. Shit, he's 20 now, not really a kid. He took bronze in men's doubles and the gold in mixed doubles with Megan Fudge. Way to go, Monroe. Now go get that junior mint money. Trust me, it's out there. If you need my help, you probably don't. Willing to help. Playing with Megan Fudge. Megan Fudge and her whole family were just way overseas in China. She comes back, hops into this tournament, grabs gold in mixed dubs with my man Monroe. Now hang on. Chris Hayworth takes men's single. That dude has been on a tear. I had a chance to watch Purple Jesus Manthau in action at MLP Atlanta. Saw the guy he was paired up with, Eric Lang. They won men's doubles gold. Now we're coming back to Megan Fudge. She doubled it up with a singles gold. Women's doubles was won by Yana Newell and Emily Cedarquist. I believe Fudge medaled in doubles as well with Jilly Braverman. There is a lot of talent out there week to week in pickleball. PPA, APP, MLP, MPL, Senior Pickleball Tour, and I am probably missing a lot. Doesn't even start with MLP Australia or anything international. We say fastest growing sport. I say you got to stay here for the run report you need. I'm going to touch them all, just like Coco Gauff rounding third. And that rounds out today's show. Look for my chat with Craig Bobo dropping this week. Don't drop the eggs. Stay safe out there. Stay hydrated. I'll see all y'all right here next time for more